Next up, we have Lyricism Without Tears from the Yakuza 3 soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're gonna use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, what happens if we reach 10,000 subscribers before Christmas 2025? The gaming channel. How to request songs if you're not in the live stream. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that said, let's do this. Let's do this. Lyricism Without Tears. Let's go. Ooh, okay, multiple requests are currently closed, so you're lucky that it didn't go through. So we start with a really cool guitar riff. When it comes to this, we're having a riff. A riff is, of course, when you get a motif being the smallest version of a musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. You put that through what is called an ostinato. Hey, thank you for the donation. I'm going to remind me to address that.
This is not the food courier app.
Well played. Remind me to address this one after the video. So yes, requests will open afterwards. Yeah, we will have live requests today. So yes, you put this to an ostinato. An ostinato is when you repeat something over and over and over and over again, which is usually what happens with a riff, and then it is played on either a guitar or a bass or a keyboard or whatever contemporary instruments we have nowadays, right? We have the guitar, we have the bass a little bit, the drums. Clearbones, welcome to the day. Let's see where this goes. We bring in a synth now. A little bit more. Ooh. So now we bring in the full drums, the full drum beat. We switch around. I was not expecting this to be the drum beat. So at the start, what the drums were doing is called accents. Accents in music are for accentuation. So no, it's not for you to be able to tell whether somebody is from York or Norfolk or Birmingham or any of the shires. It is for accentuation. What we're doing here is with the drums at the start, they were pointing specific points of the rhythm that were not necessarily part of the drum beat. There was no drum beat at the time. And what we were doing, they were playing along with the guitar. So we had that going on, and then it really shows how much your drums, your accompaniment really matters. I get to bring it up. It's been so long, because as soon as the drum beat came in, it completely changed how the whole thing felt. And of course, I have to mention it. If you want to listen to a song that has this to a much more extreme degree, where like the whole thing shifts just by changing the drums, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. The Mirror by Dream Theater, it has an ostinato at the start with the guitar, right? Jong, 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 jong. That's it for 1 full minute. Just that, but then the drums, the keyboard, the bass, they change around it. And there are points when it's genuinely difficult to tell that the guitar is still playing the exact same thing that it was at the start. It's a really cool exercise. Like Dream Theater does it a lot. They do a lot of these really cool exercises in theory, and it's yeah. WL for the fastest mirror mention. This probably is it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see where this goes, because now we're having the riff being repeated. We have the drums. Let's see where this goes. Nice. Ooh. Okay, so now we bring in what sounds to be, it's either a synth, keyboard giving us a variation of that same riff, just in a different sound sample, or we are getting one guitar over here doing a funky version of the riff, while we are having a keyboard, a synth with another sample giving us. And there you go. PB at 347. There you go. And we're having another sample. We're still repeating the exact same idea. We have just engaged in what is called instrumentation. Or, if you want to get fancy with it, orchestration. These are the same concept, just applied in different principles, right? So orchestration, usually it's when you are in the context of an orchestra, but they're both the same. It's when you are picking the right sounds, the right instruments for the right texture, the right feeling, and sometimes even the right psychological response. In this case, it's entirely texture. So let me see where this goes. So yeah, I think there is an acoustic guitar being played along with that synth over there. Synth can be overused. You can overuse anything in music. You really can. There is such a way to do it. It mainly depends on how you do it. Because if you ever want to see a composer that somehow kept layering stuff on top of each other and somehow never ended up overusing it, and it didn't end up sounding overused, listen to the oratorio. It's called the Saint Matthew Passion by J.S. Bach. The Saint Matthew Passion is considered the greatest composition of all time. And I second that. I completely agree with that assessment. It is a 3-hour oratorio, which, by the way, oratorios were one of the predecessors to opera or musical theater as we know it nowadays, in which these were religious stories. For example, in the case of St. Matthew Passion, it's the Passion of the Christ according to St. Matthew. It's that story. It starts with, I think, the Last Supper all the way to the Ascension to heaven kind of thing. And the whole thing is that you usually would play it at a church. There would be no acting, but everything else would be set up as if you had actors doing that. I have the score for it. I actually have the score for it. Let me show you. Because it's a fascinating piece of music. So here is part 1 of the St. Matthew Passion. And as you can see over here, there's quite a few instruments. The thing that makes the St. Matthew Passion so unique is the fact that it is composed for 2 orchestras, 2 choirs, a recitative ensemble, which is like a harpsichord with a couple of smaller instruments, and a children's choir. Here you can see from this point down to this point over here, where it says basso, organo continuo as well, is the first orchestra. Over here is the second orchestra. And it just goes, and it is one of the, if you ever want to hear how it sounds like to enter heaven, I don't care what anybody else says, the start, the entry, the opening of the St. Matthew Passion is what entering heaven sounds like. It really does. It really does. Like, I will kill on this hill. Yeah, I don't say I will die on this hill, because saying I will die on this hill would imply that I'm not willing to overcome. So yeah, yeah, you can see it's a beautiful, and it's super complex. It's a very, very complex piece, very, very complex composition, and it goes insane. It's insanely beautiful. I highly recommend it. The whole thing is like 3.5 hours long, but the start is not that long. So yeah, we're having that, and in this case, Bach did not overdo it, which means it's not so much about how much you use it, but how badly you use it to end up overdoing it. Anyway, so yes, we're having, I think, an acoustic guitar and a synth here doing what is called a doubling when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. Let's see where it goes. Nice. Okay. And on top of that, we had another synth giving us another melody with our first melodic motif. This time, of course, outside of the riff, we're having a proper motif going on. Tabby Cat, welcome today. How you doing? And we're having this. We had a little bit of a synth doing kind of like a violin sample going up there. There's a change here. I'm going to go back a couple of seconds. Let's see. And there we go. Alright, so we bring in a solo guitar giving us what seems to be an in-between a solo and the motif, a melodic motif going on, which is just, it's... The fact that they chose a clean guitar for this is so nice. So when you're making music, you want to keep a very careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same thing, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is, however, one universal exception, no matter which genre you're in, that you can use, which is solos. You bring in a solo, no matter what instrument, no matter what genre, what style, anything, as long as the solo sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with anything. As you hear in the accompaniment, which, by the way, accompaniment is how you spell it out. In the accompaniment, which is the whatever is not having the spotlight, whatever is not the lead is the accompaniment, the backing band kind of thing. They changed things around. It's not the same riff that we had before, but because we had that little preview of the motif over here with that violin sample, now we're bringing it back with the guitar as a solo. That acts as enough of a connective tissue between the two, and now we can move forward with this. And Yakuza OST always being an absolute banger. Yeah, I haven't played Yakuza yet. I have some of them. Yes, if you hear me say I haven't played X, Y, or Z, be absolutely not surprised. I haven't played anything in my life. So, that's not true. Like, I have played some games, but not enough. So yeah, we're having that connective tissue in the background. Let me hear a bit more. Alright. So yeah, now we're going through the solo. And what is happening in the accompaniment mostly is that we're just holding what we would call block chords, right? We're just playing the chords, we're holding them down, we're strumming, we're playing down, we just know holding the chords, and that's it. And yes, by the way, if you're wondering what that sound came from, it's like that I have a keyboard, right? So we're just holding down the chord and waiting for the next bar to do its thing, and just that kind of thing, right? So we're just chilling while the guitar is doing its thing. Nice, simple, straightforward, and it gives the guitar absolute just, yes. Have you played Minecraft? I played Minecraft back in 2013, before Bedrock. I played the Java, like, I bought Minecraft for like $10 when it was like $10. Ever since I did, recently I moved over to Vintage Story though. Vintage Story. And yeah, I didn't play Minecraft from like 2013 through like 2023 when I wanted to see what it was all about, and then yes. Epicness, like the end of the world scene where two aged men fighting in the on-screen warehouse. Yes. Yes. So, I only played Yakuza 03, a little bit of 7, not familiar with the rest. Really a fan of what I played, though. I've heard great things about Yakuza, yeah, so let's see where this goes. Okay, we introduced a little bit of distortion with the guitar. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a specific type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off the ramp. It can be as short as a couple of beats, it can be as long as an entire section. How do you do this? Remove the drums. The bass as well, maybe, or as many lower layers going upwards as we have. Shimmy, welcome today. I'm doing fantastic. I'm a little bit tired today from work, but what are you gonna do about it, right? So yeah, let's see where this goes. So we still have those block chords held by the synth with the violin samples. We just have a different drum right now. The drums kind of like the obvious skit in the back. We bring back the solo guitar. We bring back the original riff. Ooh. Variation of the original riff. Very nice. We have the same drums. No, I think it's the same exact riff right before. Off ramp and ooh, really cool. And now we bring in a new section. So we had a quick recapitulation of the first riff that we have. Now we bring in the the synth with those violin samples doing what is called an inversion of our motif. Inversion is a way that you can develop your material with in which you flip whatever melodic shape you have upside down. There is a version of it for chords as well, but we're not going to talk about that one, right? So let's say we have this melody over here. Let's say we have that. If I were to invert it, that just means I'm going to be putting an upside down mirror, and we're just going to play this the other way around. Simple as. However, there are many, many ways that you can develop these kinds of things, because you can make some really intricate designs with your melodies, and then if you invert it, you end up with that kind of thing. These concepts are not really taught that straightforward when you are studying music until you get into 12-tone music, which is a crime. So, yeah. I'm not going to get into what 12-tone music is. I'm just going to say it's music communism, and it works as well as it sounds like. So, it doesn't. Let's see where this goes. Alright. And yeah, we're just holding down the chords with the accompaniment. Solo in the synth. We move. And we now bring, so we turn the melody in the synth even higher. We bring the guitar back, the solo guitar back, and we engage in three things. One of them is call and response. Call and response being a musical conversation. You can hear the synth doing the call, playing first, and then the guitar doing the response, playing immediately after. They're going back and forth. They're also doing something called canonic imitation and engaging in species counterpoint. So, we just went to what call and response is. Canonic imitation is a type of call and response based out of the concept of a canon. Canon with one N, by the way. Canon is a type of composition that builds upon itself in some way or another. For example, the most famous canon at the unison is row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. That one, you can have four people singing that, and you can just sing it over and over. And the way you do it is, first person starts, row, row, row your boat. When the first person starts gently down the stream, the second person starts from the top. When the second person reaches gently down the stream, the third person starts from the top. So on and so forth, and then you get yourself a canon at the unison. So the way this works in call and response is that you just imitate whatever melody the previous one did. And then we are engaging in species counterpoint. Now, counterpoint being the study of melodies, how they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of two or more melodies at the same time. There are three main types of counterpoint is measured in three main types of motion. Motion we have similar, parallel, and contrary. Now, contrary motion is basically you have one melody going one way and the other one is going the complete opposite, right? They're just going in complete opposite direction. Parallel means that you're having two melodies from two different starting points doing roughly the same thing. And then similar, which is usually where species counterpoint comes in, is when you have the melodies mostly doing the same thing, but not really. The example I always bring is the Invention in D minor by Bach, right? We have that where both parts are not really doing the same thing, but they kind of are at the same time. And this is where species counterpoint comes in. Species counterpoint is basically a proportion of how many notes per note. we have, for example, and in that case, it's just proportionate, right? So there's species 1, which is 1-to-1. For every one note, part 1 plays, part 2 plays 1 note as well, which is just parallel motion, right? So we can have that kind of thing. Then we have species 2, in which you have one part doing 2 notes for every 1 note the other one does. That is where a good chunk of the start of... That's where we get this kind of thing. Species 3, 3-4-1, you can get a bunch of these combinations. And the whole point is, while one of the notes is being held, the other side does the rest. So in this case, of course, we're engaging in like species like 5 or 6. And we are doing that as a call and response between the two. Mr. Solkrig, welcome to today. How you doing? Happy late Thanksgiving to you and everybody, by the way. This is we're recording this on Black Friday, by the way. So happy Black Friday to everybody. Go spend money. So yes, and yeah, do take a moment to be grateful for everything. If anything, just take a moment to be grateful. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see where this goes. So you can hear the call and response back and forth. Off the ramp again. Guitar engaging a little bit of solo. We're having the other synth doing another melody, kind of improvised. Nice. New drum beat. Variation of the funky part we did before. Oh, very nice. Guitar solo? No. Canonic imitation again. Call and response. Trading solos. Nice reglide. There you go. Alright. A little bit of accents there. Okay, and we repeat the section we just did, the one that resulted in the back and forth, the call and response. So far, yeah, like this was a super simple execution over here, where we're just taking back ideas that we did before and just doing them slightly different, and now we're bringing back this section over here that that resulted in the canonic imitation species counterpoint call and response. Let's see how this ends. Alright, without the drums this time, without the call and response, and we're having... Okay, so we're having another synth now giving us some arpeggios. Sorry, we have an Italian in the chat. Arpeggios, in which arpeggio, which is just playing a chord 1 note at a time, right? So here's, for example, C minor, and here it is arpeggiated. So yeah, we're having some arpeggios going around, and... and we're having that beautiful inverted melody doing its thing. Let's see how this ends. Sounds like they're doing a synth and guitar, I think. And there we go. One last hit of the note. We have that. Okay, and we have that one last bass fade away. We fade away the bass. And there you go. So there's a big difference between a fade out and a fade away. What we heard here was a fade away. The track is over. Everything is over. We just now had a little remnant of a bass just being taken the volume down, whereas a fade out would be that it doesn't feel like the track is finished. So yeah, there you go. That was Lyricism Without Tears from the Yakuza 3 soundtrack. That was awesome, dude. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're going to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025? Not very likely, but still possible. If it somehow happens, on top of doing the audiobook fan fiction thing, I will also play a single video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all want, within terms of servers, of course. Live on stream, we'll dedicate some streams to that, on top of doing like the giveaways that we probably would inevitably do, right? This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos far and wide with everybody that you know. Also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so go link down below, go coordinate with them and do the things. Artists on YouTube or otherwise. This is an open invitation. If you want to collaborate and you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, or if you want help figuring out something for your composition, whatever it is, reach out, whether it's in the comments, Instagram, Twitter, X, or Discord DMs, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's make it work. And if you are somebody in the audience and you know somebody who could benefit from any of my skills, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone. Be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you are not on the live stream, check the pinned comment in this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We broadcast on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. So, if you live in Curaçao, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch. Both are linked down below, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live on stream as an after show, and sometimes when they happen, and then the recordings go there, linked down below, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. Lyricism without tears, Yakuza 3. That was really good, dude. That was really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.